Hello, Pal Talkers, and happy Thursday. Welcome to the In Touch Weekly show. I am your host, Dorothy Castasseri, the senior editor for In Touch Weekly. Today we have not one, but two guests. We are especially thankful today for having two fabulous guests with us. We have Natoya Green, who's going to talk to us about parenting and her blog. She is an expert on all things of that sort, and you're going to be featured in a very big magazine soon, I believe.
I was just featured in Ebony magazine.
Oh, never heard of that. No small deal there. Well, that's fantastic.
Thank you.
And we also have Fred Mwanga Gahunga. Okay, Mwanga Gahunga, and he is the founder of a little-known website. Not sure if you ever heard of it. MediaTakeout.com, which gets more hits than TMZ and Perez Hilton. I believe it's
not more than TMZ. TMZ is definitely
TMZ is the biggest, but bigger than Perez Hilton.
Yeah, we're definitely on the same size, or maybe a little bit larger.
Right, and so it's definitely a great go-to source for all entertainment news, celebrity gossip, which we do love on this show. So just a quick reminder, if you have any questions, please raise your hand, and our fabulous producer Gary will put you through so we can hear your lovely voices. And of course we have the message board as well. But the thing about the message board, folks, is that if I'm concentrating so hard on the message board, then I'm not able to fully focus on my guests. So raise your hand. That's how we love to hear you on the show. We have a little opening Jason Derulo. I had to, get this Thursday afternoon started. It's almost the weekend. The work week is dragging on, so we want to really add some energy to your day today. So let's first start. Oh, okay. So we have a lot of people commenting really quick. So let's first start with the commenters, and then we'll get to your stories. Mask Lyle, user named Mask Lyle, is saying, "I'm a fan of you, Fred." So you have a fan out there. We're also hearing from Precy. Precy is a guest that joins us a lot and has a lot of gossip about the Goslings. And we're hearing from Precy that Kate Gosselin's cruise was canceled by Kate herself because she only had 5 fans that wanted to go. She was doing a celebrity-themed cruise.
5 fans?
She's really gone down.
But I mean, think about it. It's a cruise. You can get on the boat. Even if Kate Gosselin's even not there, you would think there'd be more than 5 people interested in getting on that boat, right?
Agreed. Although I'm wondering, Precy, if the 5 fans wanting to go on a cruise had anything to do with the horrible, horrible story in Italy of the cruise ship crashing and people dying as a result. I mean, that would scare me away from going on a cruise. Right. So maybe it's just the cruise ship climate. Maybe it's not Kate Gosselin. I don't think she's really ticked people off that much.
5 people, though? I mean, that really is kind of crazy. I mean, she has 5 kids.
That is true, actually. That is true. She should have at least 8. At least 8 guests if all of her children attended.
Right.
I love how Precy always gives us this great gossip. She's from outside of Philly, which is my hometown, and she always fills us in on the John and Kate plus 8 gossip. Okay, so let's see. Let's talk a little bit about, first, Natoya. Tell us a little bit about your background and how you came to be featured in Ebony.
Well, I used to be a practicing attorney. Now I'm a mom of triplets.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you don't have your hands full or anything?
Sort of.
Yeah, I mean, you just take naps during the day.
Exactly. Manicures, resting.
Spa treatments.
Right. People are feeding me grapes, all that. Right. So, yeah, I'm a pretty busy mom, and so Ebony got in touch with me. They wanted to talk to me about my story, about being a mom of multiples, and what that's like. Also going from being a practicing attorney or like a working mom to stay-at-home mom.
Huge transition.
Yeah, it is.
And how old are your triplets?
They are 19 months.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And they're really active. 2 boys and a girl, and they're like all over the place.
Wow, I can only imagine.
Yeah.
And what are their names?
David, Samuel, and Eva. And I gotta tell you, like, the whole neighborhood loves us.
Your celebrities around the neighborhood.
Yeah, seriously. Like,
and they live, and also we should mention that you're married.
Yes.
And so they're not just your triplets, but they're your triplets.
Right.
Although you probably need to get a little bit more credit, for birthing triplets and then taking care of them as well. But they live in the Tribeca neighborhood here in New York City. So you're little celebrities around Tribeca.
I was just telling Fred that everywhere we go, like, I always end up talking to like a million people. So I'm like in the park and people are like, oh my God, you're the mom of triplets. And so people just start chatting us up. Everyone loves them, the nannies, the mothers, everything. It's fantastic.
Oh, well, I mean, 19 months is a really cute age.
Yeah.
But the fact that they're just getting more and more active means that you're getting less and less sleep, probably.
Yeah, and got to get physically fit. You know, you got to chase this one, chase that one. You know, you can't be a slouch.
Well, we always talk about in the new issue of In Touch Weekly all of the celeb moms, you know. I mean, we just talked about Kate Gosselin, who had her own juggling act going on. So what was kind of some of the advice that you gave to moms out there? Because I think, you know, having triplets would probably be a huge handful, but even first-time moms, having one child is a lot to handle.
Yeah, well, when I became a mom, it was really tough because, one, I was new to the neighborhood. I didn't have any friends. Like, none of my friends were like moms. I was the first one to get married and the first one to have kids.
Wow.
So it was really hard finding, like, other mothers that I could sort of relate to and hang out with and stuff like that. So my first tip is find, like, a mommy and me sort of class. And that's how you're going to meet other mothers and stuff like that. And you can set up play dates and you won't be isolated, especially if you're a stay-at-home mom. You can, you know, I mean, it's a hard job, and let's face facts, it can get a little depressing at times.
I'm sure. And I guess that sort of thing gives your kids, well, your kids have enough interaction, but if you had only one child, that gives them a chance to really interact with other children during the day.
Exactly.
And learn how to share, I guess.
Yeah, some cool things. So
I might have missed those mommy and me classes when I was younger. When my friends want to borrow, you know, my clothes and stuff, I'm not really into that.
Right.
Okay, so mommy and me classes, that's a huge thing. Now, let me ask you, in New York City, a lot of people, you know, there's been all these stories in the news about women who are planning their pregnancies so that they have the children before the beginning of the school year because it's so competitive getting into schools and that sort of thing. Are the mommy and me classes and groups in New York City a little bit snobbier or anything compared to other areas? Is there anything that you kind of have observed that makes it like very typical New York City?
I think everything in New York City is like competitive and snobby and stuff like that. When I go to like the mommy me classes, you can always sense that there's a little competition in terms of how advanced your kid is compared to mine. So like a mommy, or even a nanny sometimes they get in the game as well, and they'll say, oh, well, you know, he has more words now or something like that.
Oh,
so
geez.
They're always like sizing you up.
He said dada before he did.
Exactly. And so with
Except he's going to Harvard, he's the President of the United States, right?
Exactly. So there's always that. It's New York City. You just get used to it.
Okay, all right, I got it. I like that.
Yeah.
So what are some of your other ideas for moms about how they can kind of keep their sanity and also still be a good mom at the same time?
You definitely have to hang out with your friends. You've got to do that. You need your glass of wine. You got to hang out with friends. You've got to keep your social life going because if you don't, seriously, you'll get depressed. You know. And it's important to exercise and do all the things that they say you need to do to maintain your physical and mental health. But I think getting out there, meeting other mothers, and even if not with other mothers, like my friends, again, they don't have kids. I hang out with my single girlfriends. It keeps me sane, and we throw back a glass of wine or two, and sometimes I go home a little buzzed, but then he's here to take care of the
That's
kids.
when you're on babysitting duty, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. I mean, it's always important to, you know, keep close with your girlfriends. And it's nice to kind of have that, you know, you have all the moms at your mommy and me group, but then you also have friends of yours that are in different places in their life.
Right.
It keeps you balanced, I'm sure.
Exactly.
That's really, really nice.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Everyone is still talking about Kate Gosselin. So I love that we're talking about, you know, we're basically on the topic of, you know, twins and triplets and, you know, all of these sort of things. And everyone is wondering about Octomom and, you know, what she's been up to lately. What would you do if you were Octomom and you had all those children? What would your advice be to someone like that?
I have no idea. I mean, you know, it's like a big difference between one baby and two babies, and then from two babies to three babies. I can't imagine what it's like to be around 8 moving children and...
well, I can tell you what I wouldn't do, what my advice would be to her. I probably would not get a $500 haircut if I was on welfare. You know what I mean? Like, you might want to start there. You know what I mean? Like,
that's a good first
put your
stop.
money where you need to.
Well, that's interesting because Sweet Lau said that Octomom, they're calling her Octopus Mom too. Octomom loves the money, and that's all that she cares about. And I think she's made that kind of clear. Kate Gosselin, I think, might have fallen into that trap as well.
But remember, Kate Gosselin, she didn't, like, have the children just to get a reality show, right?
Right, she had them first.
Right, she had the children. She kind of got this reality show. Who knew it was going to turn into what it was? Octomom was like, give me as many kids as I want. I want to break the Guinness World Records. I want to go on TMZ, and I want to make a ton of money. It didn't really work out for her like that. So now you're just seeing like her trying to grab at straws. She's doing porn. She's doing all kinds of crazy stuff.
Right. And she had child services in her home recently.
Yeah.
They were concerned.
Did you see the pictures of her house? She was looking crazy. It
Yes.
was like,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, having 8 kids in a house, it could look kind of crazy, right?
Of course.
But I mean,
This
it looked
was-
like
this was
there
a
was
step
like
above.
trash everywhere.
Right.
It was filth. It was like child services had to come in there and do an intervention.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Alberta226 is making a comment here, which is great because I love that you're giving all these parenting advice, saying instead of stalking the Goslings all through their babies' lives and subsequent divorce, why weren't there any big discussions in the media on how a couple could stay as a family under the pressure? Maybe they, you know, had deeper issues. I don't know, but I think that, you know, with all of the stress of having all of those children, obviously it took a toll on their marriage. We have our first caller, Crystal from Fort Lauderdale. Crystal, are you with us? Gary, do you have Crystal for us? Oh, we don't have. Oh.
I see her microphone, but I don't hear her voice.
We don't hear her voice either, although I'm sure it's a very beautiful voice that we can't hear right now. We had a mic issue, I believe, last week. I guess we're still having it. Technical glitches. What can you do? We also are talking. We're also talking about Kate Gosselin and whether she's dating anyone. And we know that, you know, she was with her bodyguard for quite some time. Right. Unconfirmed. She always denied, you know, that they were together, but who knows?
But she looks great, though, right? Every time you see her, she's exercising. Does. She got herself in shape. She got the money from TLC. You know, she looks great.
And there was talk about her doing her own talk show, which I think that people may have really identified with her and really enjoyed her.
Do you think she has enough personality to kind of carry a talk show?
That I'm not sure. I mean, she certainly has a temper to bring the drama.
Yeah, that's great.
I think that's the issue. Like, I think she's just not likable. You know what I mean? She could be likable and she could be great in so many ways, but then I think she comes across as a meanie. So I think that's an issue. But I have to, you know, while you guys were talking about Octomom, in my head I was just wondering, like, why didn't she make it? Like, why didn't she end up with a show or something like that?
Because I think she is completely unlikable. Everyone knew exactly what she was doing. It's like she's like the boy with the bubble, you know, with the balloon.
Yeah. Somebody was talking about that also, actually. I love that you brought that up. Let's see. Alberta226, why did the Bubble Boy's bubble burst and he didn't get a show of his own? LOL.
Yeah, it's the same thing. I mean, we want to see, I mean, we know the reality show could be a little bit scripted, but at least pretend like you're fooling us. You know what I mean? She's just basically coming out there and saying, I want to be a reality star. I want to be Kim Kardashian, except I'm not as cute and I have 8 kids.
And I'm going about it in a far different way.
Right.
Yeah.
Kim Kardashian had her sex tape, and Octomom had her 8 children. So. Now, Alberta226 is bringing up another family that's in the news for the same sort of thing. What about the Duggars? How many kids do they have? Are they now at 26? Those people define freak. Well, I'm only repeating this comment. It's not my personal opinion, but now that's a different Precy said they have 19. I believe they are on 19 now. And you know that they're a very controversial family because they're not, as far as we know, doing anything for publicity. They're not procreating because they want to have a show or anything like that. They're a very, very religious family. Mm-hmm. They have said that they don't believe in birth control, and that they believe that they were put on this earth to procreate, and that's their mission. And the thing is, in all the interviews that I've ever seen them do, I always say they seem like such a nice family. The older kids really look out for the younger kids, but I think that they've come under criticism because after having so many children, now the children are starting to be born with a lot of complications. And so critics are really coming down on them and saying, the fact that you're doing this to your body, it's unnatural, and you're starting to really present health problems for yourself and for the children that you're carrying and that you're, giving birth to. So
I just think that there's something really, I mean, you look at them, they look perfect, everyone looks happy, everyone's hair is perfectly in place, but you just know if you were able to pull it back a little bit, something real grimy will just pop out. You know
Right,
what I mean? So I
right.
just wanted to keep the cameras rolling until it all but as hits the fan. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Alberta226 is saying, she's explaining, all of her thoughts about this, and she's saying, and people criticize me for liking Springer. Jerry Springer, he was one of my first celebrity interviews when I was back interning at People magazine as a college student. I was at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and he was a guest of one of the news outlets, and he was one of my first celebrity interviews. Never thought it'd be Jerry Springer, but he was a lot of fun. Gary's saying Jerry Springer's a nice guy. I agree. Alberta wants me to make her a guest. Alberta, if you're in the New York area, come on in. Now I really sound like Jerry Springer. If you're in the Chicago area, you can call this number for tickets to the Jerry Springer show. So let's talk about a new mom in Hollywood who, I'm going to say this delicately, but I'm still going to say it. She looked like she was giving birth to triplets or potentially quadruplets. Jessica Simpson.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I don't have any kids, so I can't criticize pregnant women, but it seemed like she was pregnant for 3 years.
Yeah.
It wasn't just me, right, that thought that?
That's it. That's the weird thing. Like, when you see people like Beyonce seems to be pregnant here, boom, the baby's gone.
Yeah.
But Jessica Simpson looks like she was pregnant. Right. It was like last summer or whatever that we saw her.
Well, Fred, now, as the founder of MediaTakeout.com, I have to get your take. On the Beyonce baby bump controversy. If anyone is unfamiliar with it, Beyonce was giving an interview. She was wearing this really beautiful red or peach dress, and when she sat down on a couch, very similar to this one, it looked like a basketball that was deflated that you kind of put your fist into, and it had this strange cutout on her baby bump. Now, she claimed that it was the fabric of the dress. There are a lot of theories out there that say that Blue Ivy is not, in fact, Beyonce did not give birth to her.
There are all kinds of people. There's people that truly will sit down and tell you that Beyonce did not have the baby. We spoke to people that were really close to Beyonce because we saw things like that. We saw her tummy.
Strange.
It folded. We saw it. It was right there, right? So I spoke to people. I was like, is this true? Did Beyonce, was she really pregnant? And everyone that I spoke to that actually knew her said that she was in fact pregnant. Her pregnancy was just odd, right? Because all of a sudden, it was September 1st, she looked like regular Beyonce dancing, belly's out. September 2nd, right? She all of a sudden, boom, she's got a big belly bump.
At the VMAs.
At the VMAs, it came out of nowhere,
the MTV Video Music Awards that she did her thing, and then she kind of, put her belly out and, announced to the world without actually announcing it that she was expecting.
But remember, just the week before, she had a performance here in New York. She had a week-long performance, and her belly was out. So how do you go from your belly out being 1 week, and then the next week your baby bump on the VMAs?
Although don't they say that when you're pregnant that you kind of pop? You go from kind of, being somewhat flat, and then all of a sudden, like overnight, the bump just comes out. Well, kind of like what my stomach looks like after I eat a huge meal.
Yeah, but the bump that she had at the VMAs was too big, and meaning that like a week or two before she wouldn't have been flat. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I didn't have like a big belly myself either, believe it or not.
Really?
I didn't.
Even with triplets?
I didn't.
Well, you're tiny.
Yeah, I was 116 pounds when I got pregnant.
Wow.
I was really small.
Yeah.
And I was looking back at some of my photos. It was hardly a belly there. But stop it. But anyway, I looked at that Beyonce thing because, he showed it to me. I looked at it as someone who was pregnant and stuff like that. That stomach didn't look real at all. Like, there's no way that it would ever flatten or fold. It's just not possible.
Yeah, but now she's since come out. She showed a bunch of photographs of her belly, and those photographs look a lot more convincing. But remember, the whole thing about it, and the reason why I think this whole thing just kind of went, is because there was all this secrecy around it that didn't need to be that, right? She could have just came out and said, listen, I'm pregnant, here's my baby bump, and then just kind of did it. But the fact that you're kind of hiding it, you're doing this cloak and dagger thing, it gets people thinking, like, what's really going on behind there?
Agreed.
I think that's part of it.
And what about the delivery? Now, what I thought was odd, I mean, really, I could debate this forever, and, believe it or not, we have 4 minutes left. I'm telling you, the show flies by. But I was on Good Day New York when she gave birth, and what I found to be very odd was the fact that her rep released a statement saying in the statement that Beyonce gave birth naturally. And for as secretive as those two are, why would you include that in a statement?
I
felt
have never
it was
heard
weird.
anything like
Right.
that ever.
Weird.
It's
Right.
just there was so many different things. I think that
Right.
they just bungled the whole thing. Whoever PR people just bungled it from the
Agreed.
beginning.
Yeah.
And they had like 12 security guards at the hospital.
Who does this?
And they
Yeah.
covered all
Yeah.
of the security
This
cameras.
is crazy.
And all I'm saying is that all of this information goes along with the fact that maybe she did not give birth to that child. I don't know.
Listen,
Right, but
I'm-
it's the
you know,
whole thing
when you think
seemed
about it,
very,
like,
very strange.
does she really think that somebody's gonna like get the security cameras from the hospital and then put them up on TMZ or something? Or
I mean, I guess there actually are people, though, that would do it. They would sell it. But you're breaking a lot of HIPAA laws. I mean, that's just illegal. Gary, did I lose our caller, Precy from Pennsylvania?
She's waiting.
Oh, okay, excellent. Precy, we have only a few minutes left, but I wanted to get to you. Precy, are you with us?
She just ran.
Oh, she's gone. Oh, Kissmaster, welcome to the show. Okay, so we don't have her. Unfortunately, we're having some mic issues, but that's okay because Precy shared all of her great commentary about Kate Gosselin and really started this whole thing. So getting back to Jessica Simpson, you know, she finally had the baby, and In Touch was the one to predict accurately what she was going to name her. She named her Maxwell, which is a family name of her husband, or her, no, not husband yet.
Right.
Right.
Her partner. They're
Right.
not married yet.
Daddy.
Yeah, exactly. But she's saying, sources are telling us that, you know, she's saying being a mom is harder than she thought, which I'm sure that a lot of new moms go through that. But I have to say, I'm very, very happy for her. I think that she's gone through a lot. And you know, it's funny, they named the daughter, her middle name, Drew. And it's a family name of Jessica's, but everyone's saying, why would you name your child her middle name after your ex-husband's brother, Drew Lachey?
Right.
But anyway, I'm very, very happy for her. I don't know if she's gonna bounce back as quickly as Beyonce did. Can you believe the photos of Beyonce after she gave birth?
Yeah.
Another reason why I'm questioning what all happened there. Okay.
Right.
I have
Exactly.
enough questions myself. But you know what the thing is now? A lot of women, when they do, especially celebrities, as soon as they get pregnant and they give birth, they do it by C-section. They immediately have a tummy tuck.
Yeah.
And so now the new thing is they get the ring on their stomach and the tummy tuck at the same time.
Yeah.
So you're able to bounce back within a couple of weeks.
Well, I mean, you know, celebrities love their plastic surgery. They probably also throw in some lipo and maybe even a nose job, you know, because somehow the nose has something to do with giving birth too.
Exactly.
But anyway, I hate to do this because we're all out of time, but I'm so happy that you both joined me. Now, check out MediaTakeout.com. It's one of my favorite celebrity websites, and I'm so glad to have you here as a guest. I mean, when did you, we didn't even really get to this, when did you found it? How old is it?
It's 6 years now.
Oh
so
my
we've been
gosh,
around for-
wow.
Yeah, no, it seems like forever, right?
Yeah, because I've been reading it since I, you know, started in celebrity news, and I've been doing celebrity news for about 9 years since college.
Wow.
If that gives you an idea how old I am, but
That's great.
I'm only 22. I was like a Doogie Howser. I went to college, you know, very early at the ripe old age of 11. So 6 years now, and you have amazing traffic on the site. You break tons of gossip. At a publication I used to work for, when I used to work weekend duty, I had a mandatory list of sites that I had to monitor throughout the weekend, and Media Takeout was one of those sites. So
Great.
very, very familiar with it. And so Media Takeout, you have to check it out. And what is your blog, Latoya?
Tripletsandtribeca.com.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Tripletsandtribeca.com.
Yes.
And it's all about being a mom and being a mom to multiples and just
Yep.
great advice for moms and
Yep.
that sort of thing. And even if you're not a mom, you know, it's an interesting website just to check out, you know,
Right.
for when you become a mom so you can handle that whole transition gracefully as you have.
Thank you.
Because, I mean, you look amazing.
Thank you.
You don't,
I try.
you don't seem
I try.
frazzled.
I try.
You don't seem frazzled. You seem very put together, and you have such lovely help here as well.
Thank you. Well, I don't know about that.
Okay, all right,
You
all
have
right.
to thank my nannies for that, but he tries.
All right, great. So, guys, thank you for joining us today. You can check me out on Twitter at Dorothy Lauren, on my blog, theblondeinblue.tumblr.com. And what are your Twitter handles so we can throw those out too?
Well, I actually don't have her
Oh.
Twitter handle yet.
Well, we have to get you on Twitter.
I know.
And mine is Fred_MTO.
MTO,
Yeah,
Media Takeout.
there you go.
I love it. I love it. I can't believe you didn't use your last name as your Twitter handle. I thought that Cassasari was a hard last name. I mean, it might have taken me 10 years to learn how to spell it because it has 10 letters.
Right.
But how many letters does your last name have?
13, the same as Schwarzenegger, so
Oh.
before you get...
Oh, wow.
That's right.
Love it. Love it. All right. So anyway, join us next week, same time, 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will see you guys there. Thank you for joining us. And check out the new issue I'm grabbing over here of In Touch Weekly. Talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.